I'm going to attempt the ridiculous and try and work on two paintings at the same time. And so I'm demonstrating fast drying mediums and also slow drying mediums. So on this one, the approach will be, paint the stage and then put the hero on it. And here it's making sense out of the chaos. I've already, as you can see, toned the canvas. I actually gridded this with watercolour pencil and then drew in pencil an outline of a canyon that I intend painting, and then I've mixed paint the pigment with fast dry medium fixer and just done a wash or glazes over top. Essential equipment when painting with acrylics: paper towel. I make a wad of it. What that's for is controlling the amount of water on the brush. Absolutely essential. People make the mistake, they think you need lots of water, and you usually don't. It's just a damp brush. So I always start with a damp brush, but then hold it to the paper. The excess water drains out, and then it's enough water. Here's one of these spray bottles. It's just water in a fine mist sprayer, and it's used for keeping the acrylic on the palette, the paint on the palette, moist, but it can also be used for rehydrating the paint. The paint I'm demonstrating is Atelier Interactive. Now, when this paint came out years ago, I thought Chroma was just rebranding the paint, doing some sort of marketing exercise, and I didn't think much of it. And it was only after I started doing demonstrations that I found out what an innovation the paint is and how radically different they are to normal acrylics. Most acrylics dry top to bottom. They dry by evaporation, all acrylics do. And as the water leaves an ordinary acrylic, a skin forms over the top and it dries top to bottom. Once that skin forms, basically you're restricted to working wet on dry. And what Interactive does is it thickens as it dries. And there's actually a window of opportunity to rehydrate the paint. So you can keep your paint open all day just by adding a little bit of water either with your brush or with the spray bottle. There are different mediums. There's three mediums. There's a thick slow medium, a slow medium, and a clear painting medium. All of those can be used to increase the drying time as well, or slow down the drying time. And they keep, I like to think of locked and unlocked. That's how I think about these paints. Because you can lock the paint using the fast drying mediums, which I'll be using on this canvas, or you can keep it open with these. And as I said, you can keep the paint workable all day. And in fact, there's an unlocking medium or solution which, if you've used just paint and water or just paint in these mediums, you can come back a day later, a week later, and actually reopen the paint and go back in and blend. So, more fast dry medium. Just dip the brush into that and use that to move the paint around. This is just a bit of hardware item. It's a plasterer's broad knife. And Okay, so I haven't used any medium other than water, and it was for this. It's just a damp brush, plenty of pigment, plenty of paint. With the interactive, what happens is as the paint begins to thicken, you'll notice the brush begin to drag, and so that's a sign to either just damp your brush and, you know, rehydrates the paint, gets it moving again, or use the spray bottle and just moisten it. And that just rehydrates the paint and it gets it moving again. Okay. Now the brush is really dragging at the moment, and so that's great if I want to do a dry brush stroke, or so you learn to feel what's going on with the paint, and you act accordingly. If you want it rehydrated, you just wet the brush and a bit more white. I think a touch of orange. So I'm trying to cover the canvas as quickly as possible. This is thick, slow, medium. I'll just get that out, and you see the paint just goes on much quicker, much easier, just flows on. Now with the slow medium, or any of the mediums that slow the drying time down, if you use these mediums, don't overdo it. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. They think more is better. But with these mediums, they help the paint hold more water. And, so all you need to do is spray the paint to rehydrate them. It takes up the water and will stay open for much longer.